one ingredient is missing. Potassium bromate is a suspected carcinogen that's banned for human consumption in Europe as well as China and India. It's famous for its bread, but one ingredient is missing. Potassium bromate is a suspected carcinogen that's banned for human consumption in Europe as well as China and India, but legal in the US, where it's used by some food makers to strengthen dough and estimated to be present in over 100 products.
There is evidence that it may be toxic to human consumers, that it may even either initiate or promote the development of tumours.
Professor Eric Millstone is an expert on food additives and told us European countries take a much more cautious approach to food safety.
Can we say for sure that these differences in regulations mean that people in the US have developed cancers that they would not have developed if they'd been eating only in Europe?
I think that is almost certainly the conclusion that we can reach.
It's not just potassium bromate, but many other chemicals and substances that are banned here in Europe over health concerns, but considered safe by the FDA.
Do you think most Americans are aware that they're being exposed to substances that are viewed as dangerous over here?
They probably just think, well, if it's available and it's in the store, then it's probably fine.
All of the food tested in the study contain chemicals that have been found to be hazardous to health, and shopping for organic food isn't a surefire way to avoid these chemicals.
I would say I'm not shocked that we're finding these.
It's getting harder to avoid harmful chemicals in the food we buy and eat. A new study from Consumer Reports found that the majority of food we buy contains phthalates and bisphenols, two chemicals linked to diseases like diabetes and hormone disruption.
I think that we are finding that these are more common than maybe we thought in the past.
Rachel Rothman is a registered dietitian who's worked in the food industry for years. She says what's even more frustrating is that the chemicals are also found in organic and healthier food products.
I wish there was like an easy solution of, well, just don't buy this or just stay away from this. And unfortunately, that's not where we are right now.
Researchers found that 99% of grocery store foods and fast foods they tested contain phthalates. Additionally, 79% of the food samples also contain bisphenol, an industrial chemical that's used in plastic manufacturing.
They're basically part of this group of chemicals that they're really used to make plastic more flexible and more durable.
Pre-packaged foods were found to have much higher chemical levels. Boxed cheesy ravioli, sliced peaches, McDonald's Quarter Pounder, Little Caesars Pizza, and other fast food items were among the foods tested by Consumer Reports. The National Research Council has linked phthalates to reproductive disorders and genital abnormalities. According to Mayo Clinic, BPA has been linked to high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. In 2023, the FDA rejected a petition that called for a ban on the use of phthalates in food packaging and food processing.
If the FDA could step up and create these regulations, I think that could make a huge difference.
Europe is famous for its bread, but
unaware of this. And studies show it because they're
highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40. So black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer under the age of 40.
Yes.
Are people aware of this?
I don't think so. I think the vast majority of people are entirely unaware of this, and studies show it because there are studies showing that the earlier you start using cosmetic products, the higher your chance of coming down with breast cancer. And the people who had the highest prevalence were African American females. So I think it's a combination of the fact that there is some level of racism, environmental injustice, but also a cultural and societal preference for certain products.
So black women are at the highest risk of getting breast cancer.
Barakata Yahawa, Barakata Yahawa Shah, Barakata Yahawa, Barakata Yahawa Shah, Barakata Yahawa, Barakata Yahawa Shah, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. This your Akim Madrilazil back with another quick lesson. And you can tell by the opening clip, man, you can't trust this devil, man. You know, the first clip talk about, you know, how these common products, everyday items that these people here in Babylon the Great, aka America, you know, go to these, you know, shopping markets to provide, you know, nourishment, food for themselves and their family is unsafe, man. But these people, you know, especially these so-called Negroes, Latinos, namely, you know, the 2/3 of Israel, they trust in this devil, man. But what the book of Ecclesiastes 12:10 reads, it says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Continuing on, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. So you got to take good heed of these devils, man, because they will put something in your face and promote it as, organic, like these foods, organic, harmless, but yet they have chemicals, things in them to what? Cause death, man, because that's what this devil is, man. He is as death, man. He promotes death. Wherever he goes, death follows, man. Continuing on in the book of Ecclesiastes 12:11, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, man. So this devil, even though he present himself as some type of some type of trustworthy individual, you could trust in his organizations to do the right thing, the FDA, but yet it's contrary, man, because you got these insiders, these people that actually do and have the capability of what? Researching or seeing if those organizations actually doing what are in the best interest and are doing what they're designed to do, which is keep, harmful chemicals and keep products for the general public safe to consume. They're not actually doing what they're intended to do, man, because this is Esau Edom that we're dealing with, man, the wicked, man, Yet in comparison with other countries like what, Europe, China, etc., these chemicals, a lot of these chemicals in the opening clip, the first one, they had a list of, I'm not going to name them, just go back and, review them. These harmful chemicals, man, that they present to the mass public here in Babylon the Great, aka America, as safe, but they're banned for consumption, human consumption, in other countries because they are what? They're leading traits to cancerous, man. And that's what's killing a lot of these people. That's why you see cancer and things of that nature at an alarming rate, man. And I noticed that, you got all these different types of cancers now, man. And you can see and you got to understand, why is that? And it's due to the products that they sell to the masses, man. They're extremely cancerous, man. These foods and etc. And then the second clip, it goes to what? These hair products, because this devil is targeting the children of Israel. And then they're saying, and you see by that the second clip, as she perceived to be a Moabite, because she could be possibly one of our people, but she seems to be maybe from a Moabite. That she's saying what? These products that the so-called black woman that are, cosmetics, that these cosmetic products that the so-called black woman go out here and buy, hair products and stuff like that, they're cancerous, man. And they say what? Based on studies show that, that the so-called black woman are the leading consumer of these cosmetic products, and they're the leading victims of what? Breast cancer, man. And it's due to what? These products. And she's pointing out who is having or who is making these products cancerous is who? The so-called white man, man. She said what? It's systemic racism that is targeting the so-called black woman, because this devil, man, he has a perpetual hatred, and he's finding and having he's finding clever ways to knock you people off, man. This devil had always an agenda is what? Target the children of Israel, man. And this is not, and you can, and these people think we're promoting fear mongering, man. You know what I'm saying? You think we're timid. Now we're put here to what? Give warning, man. We're warning you to what? Stay clear of this devil, man. You got to use wisdom. It's ultimately we can't escape, but you still have to use wisdom. When you can find it, use wisdom when you can find the necessary use wisdom when it's necessary. We'll put it like that. This devil, Salaki, with these devils around here trying to manipulate and use this devil's technology to interfere with the spirit, man, to trying to quench the spirit as if they think they helping me. You ain't helping me, you're helping Satan, who is Esau eating the self-proclaimed white man. That's the 2/3 Negroes. But anyway, before I, go off a rant. But yeah, man, you got to use wisdom, man, with this devil, man. These people, they go out and they think that just like they were saying in these segments that I post with this lesson, that these people think that because you see it on the shelf, it must be safe to use, man. But nah, man, it's not. These devils don't care, man, and they have a perpetual hatred for the children of Israel, which is Esau, Edom, the nation of Esau, which is these so-called self-proclaimed white people. They have a perpetual hatred, man. And who is actually pulling the strings is the elite amongst Esau, man. You know what I'm saying? But yet, they're targeting the so-called black Latinos and Native Americans, man. And these women that are just like the precept says, roughly paraphrasing, rise up, you women that are at ease, man. You got these black women, man, and these women in general, man. They are at ease here at Babylon the Great, but not knowing the pending potential. They ain't potential. These are pending dangers, man. They're at ease here, man. And you can see by the policies that this current administration is passing, man. Yeah, they're gonna you at ease here. You're gonna soon find out, and you're comfortable here. That this devil is gonna make you feel very uncomfortable, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to another precept. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes 7. 7:30 says, "Consider the work of Yahawa, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked?" Man, these jokers were made crooked. So nobody can make straight regardless of how these people try to come and plead plead to these people and think they can convince and change their mind, and how much you can, especially these simple ass women, man. You go to them and try to befriend them, man. You can't make these devils straight, man. The Lord, who can make straight what the Lord had made crooked? In nature, man, these demons were made to be who they are, man. And these people want to find out the hard way, man. That especially these women, man. They gonna find out the hard way because that's who they cleave on to, this devil, the self-proclaimed white man in general, man. All of the nation, but particularly the self-proclaimed white man. They think they can befriend these devils, because right now they allow them to be what? Carefree, do as thou wilt spirit to an extent, because they know, and I'm talking about these devils, they know who their biggest threat is. So you gullible ass people, they allow you to prosper, man, in their wicked ass society. They turn a blind eye to certain things that they know they should be checking you, but they can care less because you're not a threat. But I'm going to read that again. The book of Ecclesiasticus 7:13, it says, consider the work of Yahawa, for who can make that straight? Salakia. For who can make that straight which he have made crooked, man? So who can make this devil a decent, law-abiding, stand-up guy as he's trying to portray? Because that's what he is. He's trying to portray that image. But he know he's the wicked inside. He can't help himself because that's how the Lord made him, man. He got that perverse spirit in him, man. You know. So we were set up as watchmen to what? Warn, as the Lord said, give warning from me, man. And you can't even trust this devil. Like I said, he's if the Lord didn't speed up the time, man, there would be no flesh to be saved, man. You know, but for the elect's sake, the Lord will, man. That's why you see, you know, even I noticed that, you know, the time is like it's flying. You know what I mean? It seems like on a lot of occasions, man, time just zooming by. We are thankful for that, man, because that's the Lord actually fulfilling his promises, man. You know. But yeah, man, this devil is very untrustworthy, man. You know, he goes crouching like he's you know, he humble himself and go crouching as if he's trustworthy. But yet you're gonna realize the whole time this devil has not changed his ways, man. You know. And I'm going to end it off there. Hope the body was edified. Till next time, I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahawa, by Hashem Yahawa Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Again, this is your Akim and Drillazil. Lord willing, I'll be back with another lesson. Till next time, Shalom Barakatham and the Barber Ball, man. I'm going to close it out, man. Like I said, beware of this devil. And like they said, statistically, they says the so-called black woman is the highest leader of what? Breast cancer. And it's not by coincidence, man. It's by design, because this devil is targeting the children of Israel, the men and the women, man. Shalom Barakatham.